staying present, not drifting off into thinking, and not going to sleep, not falling below thinking, rising above thinking. So there's often they have the three choices really. You can get lost in thinking as usual. And if you look at people who are absorbed in their thought processes, then the most apt, adequate word is absent, which of course is the opposite of present. So you can easily see that, unfortunately you can't see it in yourself, because then you would be present. If you saw your own absence, you would suddenly be present. So you cannot see your own absence, you can only see somebody else's absence. But that's a good enough lesson too, because then you can see, wow, that happens to me too sometimes, you can say. But it's such a remarkable contrast between the state of presence, the state of absence, and then occasionally you get in some people or in yourself drifting in and out from into absence and then into presence. So you get a couple of minutes, you're gone, and then suddenly you're here again. And then when you at the transitional point, it's very noticeable, the change in consciousness, the qualitative change, or vibrational change, whatever you want to call it. And then you can fall below thinking. So, and sometimes it happens to some people who are not yet firmly anchored in presence. They go from presence, suddenly they dive through the thinking layer directly into a sleep-like state. So you can have a person being present one moment, and the next moment as I've observed in Buddhist monasteries, some of the monks, especially the early morning meditation, first they are there, and then suddenly they But another thing that happens as you undergo the shift, the process, it's a process, it's a shift. One thing, important change that takes place is your investment in thinking is no longer total. Even while thinking still happens, gradually, you're not totally in it. Thinking may still happen, you may still be absent, but thinking doesn't have the seriousness anymore that it had before, habitual thinking. One way of putting it is there's a little bit of distance between you and thought. And above all, thinking no longer has the power to make you unhappy, which is the usual thing, because whenever you're unhappy, it's because you're thinking about something. Without a story in your mind, you cannot be unhappy, not unhappy. You can have a heaviness in your energy field, but that's not unhappiness. And you can allow that to be there. But to be unhappy, an unhappy human being needs a story to justify his or her unhappiness. And of course the story is the movement of thought. And it becomes so overwhelming that you believe in every thought that arises, that tells you your story, why you're unhappy. And so you're unhappy. So it's never the situation that makes you unhappy, it's your thinking that makes you unhappy. That's an interesting thing to observe in yourself. Acceptance of the present moment as it is, and there can be no unhappiness. Just accept this moment as it is. That's just how it is. Fine. And if you're unhappy, you can accept that also. You can say, no, I can't accept the present. I'm unhappy. I can't be present now. You can accept this moment. Acceptance of this moment as it is a doorway into presence also. Acceptance of this moment as it is. And at this moment, if you're unhappy, say, okay, I'm unhappy, that's what is. And then observe what happens to the unhappiness when you accept it completely. It can't survive with acceptance.